So this is my second hood that I made. I like them big, what can I say? Yes. I made this jacket actually. I made the whole jacket. Oh. I'm not 100% done, but it's done enough. I made the hood big because I have big hair, and even when it's my hair, it's gonna be big hair. So I want to know that I have coverage because I'm tired of wearing hoods and I have to take my hair down in order to wear my hood. So it's a bit annoying. Oh, I made this scarf and I made this dress as well. Let's see. So I made my whole outfit. Yeah, I need to work on my hoods though. I don't know, do I? It's like, I want the dimensions, like all of this probably have to go, but how can I get rid of this and still it be ideal for my big hair? You know, that's the question. Not unless, see how it falls like that? I can simply like put some kind of stitch in there just to hold that part down. Put like one of them snap buttons on it. So I got the look from the front that I'm looking for. And I have also the space at the back that I need for my buns. And I was right in my world. And yes, I made it asymmetrical because I'm just extra like that. So let's get into this reading. Let's find out what else we need to know about this situation. About I didn't ask to be born. So the answer is we don't ask to be born. God sent us to the parents that we deserve. And God send the parents the child that they deserve. Okay? So no, we didn't ask to be born. We don't get that option as far as I'm aware. God says, you, I'm assigning you in this family. And you, I'm assigning you this child. Let's see how you get along. God said, all the best. All right, so now the reason why I'm going to finish this reading, because we basically got the information that we needed yesterday. That's why I was considering if I wanted to do more or not. And we already got the information, so it's like anything that we're getting now is simply going to be most likely information that we can learn from, because it's like these people already made the mistake. So if we can learn from their mistake, then that would be absolutely wonderful. I made my whole outfit. I like it. I like it. Go Chanel. Go Chanel. Go Chanel. Anywho, Most High, please block anybody trying to interfere with this reading. Do step in and deliver your messages to we, your children. We thank you so very much. So let's find out the next message. I do have on shorts, but my legs are kind of cold, you know. I didn't feel like putting on pants today. I have on some blaring pink shorts, so nobody can say that I'm not fully dressed on camera, opening up my legs like this. I'm wearing short shorts. Okay. So let's see. What else does God want to share with us regarding this situation? So if you didn't see part one, I suggest that you go and see it. It's quite insightful. Okay. And just a brief rundown. One young lady sued her parents for, they put it, giving birth to her without her permission. But there was more to the story than that. See, that's the human explanation of the situation. But from God's point of view, it was karmic justice what took place in that family. Okay. And it's a lesson to everybody else as it pertains to just having children without proper thought or having children carelessly. Yeah, it makes people rethink giving birth to children. It's not a decision to take lightly. Okay. So I do suggest that you watch part one. Let's see. So this is part two. Let's see what else God want to share with us. So we got 3 more decks to bring us messages regarding that situation. And then there was an extra deck that was calling out to me. That's like a mystery deck. So God has a message in there that it wanted to relay, but it's not really like 100% pertaining to the story that we're investigating. So I think it's a worthy investment of time and energy, because God don't talk shit, you know. And I apologize to those of you who don't like to hear me swearing. But at this point of my life, it helps me to express myself effectively. And that's the reason why I use these curse words. Okay. This jacket works very well. All right, so I got more of the fabric there. I should make myself some pants to go with it. Need to get some more to make some more winter clothes, because I'm tired of spending money. Oh, Malik, I'm tired of making Malika spend money. On electricity and gas. Okay, so the subject matter of this part of the message. Okay, so we got custody. I need to check these cards before. Okay, that feels correct like this. So that's upright. Let's check this one. That's more than one. It feels correct like this. Okay, so they're both upright. If this was on top here, then this go first and that go second. Okay. This one go first and this one go second. Okay, so the subject matter was custody. The cards we got to come out, we got self-harm and deceased. So self-harm has come to an end. Okay, we got hospitalized, disagreement. So where there was a disagreement in their situation, it's like now there's clarity. Everybody seemed to be on the same page. So the way that the parents were treating this child, because it was revealed that the parents were quite controlling to this child. And on her 18th birthday, they brought her some keys for her birthday and told her that she needed to get out the house. They have got her an apartment that she will now be living at. And if it's a small apartment, and if she wants a bigger one, she needs to work to get herself that. And the child's position in the matter was, well, you gave birth to me, you brought me up in this house, we have our own home theater, I think they have like pool and whatnot. So she was living in luxury, and on her 18th birthday they just bring this other quality of life on her, and she felt really disrespected because of that, and to the point where she felt like, yeah, we're gonna take this to court because you're not doing me right at all. And she challenged them in court and she won. They now have to pay for her upkeep, food, clothes, and shelter for the rest of her life, and she doesn't have to work if she doesn't want to. And she says, if I do work, it'll all be extra money. So that was the judgment of the judge in the case, and God had us know that he was, I believe it's a he, I keep saying he, but whoever the judge was in her case was, they were quite right to pass that judgment. It was justified, or it is justified. Okay, so now we have this self-harm is deceased. So now nobody's hurting themselves anymore because everybody's doing what they're supposed to do in the situation. And we got hospitalized, disagreement. So there needed to be some sorting out of the disagreement, but it feels like and looks like they are coming to some kind of a agreement. Okay, so the underlying issue, let's see, is maturity, medication for the illness. So yeah, everybody behaving mature in this case, admitting their wrongs and stuff like that. It brings peace to the situation. So we got maturity, medication, illness, criminal, missing you, morals. So in this case, the moral standards were very low down. And we got tradition, cycle ends. So it was a custom for whoever these parents are to treat the children like that. Okay. And I was saying some stuff regarding parents and how they end up putting their children on the journey to independence in part one, which I'm not going to repeat myself. So if you want the information on that, please go and watch part one or listen to it as a podcast if you don't have time to watch it. Okay. Because it will make a lot more sense to you then. But morally, the parents were wrong for treating this young lady in this way. Okay. And it was tradition. So it is something that their parents did, other parents around them did that to their children. So they figured, well, we're going to do it to our child as well. It's like we only have to look after her until she's 18. And once she reached that stage of her life, we'll set her free. Okay. Yeah. So it was a criminal offense, and so she took them to court because she felt like they wronged her. So now nobody is harming themselves with the immoral decisions that they were making. They're making better decisions now. Everybody's behaving more maturely now in this situation. And their disagreements are being worked on, and they're all starting to see the situation from each other's point of view, which is good. So let's see the next message. Okay, so the subject matter of this part of the reading, we got the Ministry of Finance. Yeah, they were ordered to pay for her general upkeep for the rest of her life. Mm, it's more correct like this. Okay. So this one. Okay. So Ministry of Finance, that's the subject matter. So we got president or prime minister, the one in charge. God was the advocate of evil. You know, God did create good and evil, right? So God advocated for this outcome. Okay. Advocate of God and advocate of evil. Oh, so okay. Oh, okay. So whoever was in charge, the top man, I guess this would be like the father or somebody. They were playing God and they were being advocates of evil. Okay. They thought that they could just do her however they wanted to do her and she would just be cool with it. So they were being unfair to her. Let's see what the underlying issue is. Yeah. So the laws of the land, she took their ass to court. Dark magic, loan shark, converse, and then we got beach. We got influencing corruption regarding money. We got cultural or community center, the oracle, shadow government scheme, adolescent, governor, some kind of agenda, which in this case, let me bring out the cards first. Then we got MP or member of parliament, the lawmaking assembly, high school, moving forward, advocate of good, hospital, when it comes to the war. And that assassinated the bad weather. Yeah, the weather of confusion. Okay. So, okay, I'm being told to continue. We got hidden message, Ministry of Education. They're getting paid to do it. We got utilities, which usually comes out as utilize the politics of the situation, the politics of the land. Okay, so what this is saying is basically reiterating what happened as a result of them kicking their daughter out on her 18th birthday, thinking that they were doing a good thing. Okay, so we got the laws of the land, dark magic. So in this case, the laws of the land is coming out as the tradition, the way that they do things. It was dark magic, it was evil. Okay, and we got loan shark, so that would be like the father, the people who have the money. They conversed, that would be the court case. And then we got beach, so they came to a good outcome where it brought peace, because beach is a place where you go to relax and stuff like that, right? And it's a place of healing as well. So now we got influencing corruption when it comes to money. That's the next sentence begun. So influencing corruption when it comes to money. We got cultural or community center, oracle, and shadow government. So the oracle would be whoever this person is who gave them the idea. Okay, so shadow government scheme is saying that the way that they were treating her, it was a form of control, which came out in part 1. Okay, so the reason why they did this to this young lady, it was a form of control. They were trying to control her, right? The adolescent, shadow government scheme, adolescent. the governor, which would be the father, the parents in charge, had some kind of agenda when it comes to the rules, the lawmaking assembly. When it comes to the rules, they were using their rules for their agenda. So whatever these parents had planned for this girl, it was not in her best interest. Okay, so there's a lot to this story that we do not know. Let's continue. So they had some kind of agenda. Then we got high school, moving forward, advocate of good, hospital. So basically, when they kicked her out at age 18, it's like we kind of just finished, let me see, finished high school at about, well, I finished high school at about 16 and went into, so it was just after high school. We got moving forward, advocate of good. Then we got hospital to the war. So while she was in the house, she was being controlled by them. And she decided to take action so that she can hospitalize the war, so that she can heal whatever negativity she was enduring. Okay. It assassinated the weather of confusion. So they were playing with her mind and everything, with these rules and laws that they wanted her to live by. Okay. So we got hidden message. Yeah, there was information that she needed that was hidden. And we got Ministry of Education. They're getting paid to do it, to utilize politics of the land. Ooh, so they're getting paid to do it. Oh yeah, this Oracle person, shadow government scheme. Parents were probably part, or are probably part, are or were part of uh, some kind of order, some kind of order or cult or secret society or something like that. They were getting paid to use their children in this way. And it's like a partner. They were using rules, lies, making up their own rules to convince their children of XYZ so that they can be sure that they will continue to serve in whatever way they're trying to trick them into serving. Okay, so the president or prime minister, God, advocate of evil. Yeah, they were doing something bad to this girl. Let me see what else. So we got government employee, gang leader, peace, Mr. and Mrs. World Domination, orphanage. So they lost her. Orphanage of the farm. So they were finding these children for resources so that they could use them. Government employee, government representative, or agent freelance. They wanted to use these children. Wow. So only God knows what they were using these children for. So what they did to her on her birthday by kicking her out of the house, essentially that's what they did. They offered her a new place. It was all part of a scheme that was intended to bring about some other things. So it was like a step in the program, or a step in the programming. They were trying to program these children. So that means there are more children out there like her who are the children of the people who are part of this order, this secret society, that have also been manipulated into uh basically what they did was put themselves, these parents and whoever the oracle is, whoever the head is, the president or prime minister of this organization, they put themselves in a position where they have authority over these children for the entirety of their life. But this one child, she saw what was going on and she was like, hell no, I'm not taking this shit. and she took matters into her hands, and she won. And now they're obligated to spend their money looking after her and not getting what they intended to get from her in the first place. So let's see what the next message is. Gossip. Crazy. And that's the thing. We're having children and we don't really know who these children are. So it's like this scheme that they got going on stops with her. So now imagine what kind of disarray the organization, all the members of the organization, they're in disarray. When the other children hear about what this young lady did, they're gonna want their freedom too. So right now they are not having a good time. These people who had this secret organization, they are not having a good time. But that's why you are having children to do wickedness. That's wickedness. You're basically imprisoning this child for the whole of their life. Children don't belong to us. They belong to God. Each one of us belong to God. We don't belong to our parents. Our parents are our guardians. They're here to take care of us and then set us free. They're here to take care of us, teach us about the world, help us to become upstanding men and women of society, and then send us out into the world so that we can make our own way. They were supposed to give us all the psychological tools that they can. But when it comes to parentage, that cycle has already been messed up because so many parents are terrible parents. And it's not that they don't love the children, but so many of them are inadequate in their position of parents. They try to control their children rather than get to know the child that they have custody over. God gave them custody over the child, not to make the child into what they want to make the child into, but to help nurture the child to become the best version of who they are, who they were destined to be, who they naturally are. You see? So we got the refusing sex card that just flipped over. Let's see what's at the bottom of the deck. Am I holding the deck upside down? Yeah. So we got refusing to amplify small issues. So this is not talking about actual sex. This is talking about interaction. Refusing to amplify small issues. So refusing sex, so refusing interaction, the underlying issue is refusing to amplify small issues. So what is that saying? Hang on, let me do the mathematics. So refusing sex, then we got refusing to amplify. So refusing to interact, refusing to take part. Let's remove the word sex. Refusing to take part. And then the underlying issue is refusing to amplify small issues. So it's like walking away from matters that aren't really a big deal. It's like, yeah, you did me wrong, but it's not so much so that I want to take action against you. Okay, so I guess she was holding it down for maybe all her life. So it's like they used to do all type of stupid stuff to her that she probably didn't agree with, but she never really fought back. But this time when they tried this thing with the house, that was the straw that broke the camel's back. She was like, nah, we need to do something about this now. You have pushed me enough. And I've been silent for long enough and cooperative for long enough and peaceful with you for long enough. It's time for this shit to stop. Okay. And we saw her on the video and we were judging her because it's like, what kind of crazy story is this? So you see, that's why God said we need to be slow to judge. That was an eye opener for me yesterday. I learned a valuable lesson yesterday because I was definitely in that mindset and that mind frame. Like, what kind of ridiculous? Because all I'm thinking of is, you gonna sue your parents for giving birth to you? Y'all heard what I said yesterday on that video, because that's how my brain was calculating the information that I got. But the problem is, so much valid information held back in that story. And I thought of something this morning. It's like when we're putting stories out on social media, we need to be responsible in the information that we share, because the way that we put the story out there, it triggers thoughts and it helps us to form opinions. But if the only information we have is the little bit of information that is there, then you can't blame the world when you put your private information on the World Wide Web and you deliver the story in such uh it's like this, the story was so undertold. Okay, the way that she put the story out there, it was so undertold that we had no choice but to look at her like she's the villain in the story. So, as well as me learning to stop being so quick to judge a situation based on just the bit of information that I got, because I could form a wrong conclusion, as I'm sure many of us did, I learned that when we're putting stories out there, we need to make sure we put the information that is necessary in stories so that people can get a proper view of what actually took place, so that we'll know how to judge the situation. So if you felt like I did yesterday, thinking that this is ridiculous, it's not entirely our fault, because we did not have enough information about this particular situation to draw a accurate to draw an accurate conclusion. You see it? So yeah, that's a lesson for all of us. When we're putting our stories out there, we need to give a proper overview. Even if we don't tell everything, we need to give a good enough overview so that those who are receiving the message can get a better idea of what the true story is. Or else we will be biting your head off because of what you said. You didn't tell us that you were being abused. At no point did she say she was being abused. She protected her parents at all costs. Her only her only problem with her situation is that they gave birth to her without her consent, and then they basically put her out of her mansion and her high life and wanted her to live as a commoner, as an average person, and make her way through life. In the snap of a finger, in the blink of an eye, her whole world changed. That's the information that we had to go on. And that was definitely not enough information. You were supposed to tell us a little bit about the abuse. Okay? Because God didn't give children to parents so that they can abuse them. That's common sense. Shouldn't need anybody to tell you that as a parent. You're not supposed to be abusing your children. You're not supposed to be using them and making them your slaves, whether sex slaves or house slaves or scapegoats. You know, All them stories about parents being bad at managing money, and then they end up putting the utilities in the name of the children, and then they don't pay those bills either, so now the child starts off life with bad credit and all these things. That's not what you're supposed to do as a parent. That's very irresponsible of you. You're supposed to learn how to manage your money. You're supposed to learn to live within your means. If you cannot afford a whole apartment, rent a room for you and your children and try to sort out your financial problems. And we need to stop having so many children at one time. You're having 2, 3 little children to be running around after, and you don't really have no proper means of taking care of them. That's irresponsible behavior, both on the women and on the men. So part one was talking about us really rethinking our sex lives. Because a lot of the times we get pregnant and don't even know that we got pregnant until it's already gone far. We miss our period. Child's growing for a whole month. 2 weeks to a month. The child is already here. You could either be bringing a blessing or a curse into your life. Okay, so the subject matter. We got going into nature. So going into nature, what is natural? Being true to ourselves. Understanding life and what life is really about. Understanding parenting and what parenting about. Understanding children and what being a child is all about. Understanding why we're here. Understanding what earth is, what creation is. Instead of living any old how, not knowing anything. Because then that's how we make a lot of mistakes. We come here and we're trying to make up the rules as to how we want to live here. Some things we can decide for ourselves, but there are rules here already established that we need to be observant of and respectful of, so that way we can avoid major catastrophes. Okay, so trigger warning, I'm about to tell y'all a short story. Okay, if you don't want to hear this, you could turn the volume down, but I'm telling you now, it's I knew of this young man. Okay, when I was a baby, they gave me to this family. It's not my family, but I grew up knowing them as my aunties and uncles and cousins and all these things, right? But they're not really. So let me just make that clear. But I was given to this family, and I heard a report of the woman I thought was my grandmother. Her sister was deleted from the land of the living by her eldest son with a knife. And if God says that we are our children's karma and our children are our karma, then we really need to put more thought into having children. What kind of person are you? What kind of person are we? It's in our best interest to treat these children right. And children, it's in your best interest to treat your parents correctly as well. Y'all need to work out your differences civilly. Work out your differences in a civil manner. Talk to each other respectfully so you can understand each other. Parents do not just give orders. Children do not just make demands. There's a give and take that needs to take place when it comes to a relationship, a parent to child relationship, just as in a friendship, just as in any romantic relationship with your boyfriend or your girlfriend. It's always a give and take. Teacher to student is a give and take. There's always a give and take. Do not try to be controlling. Because people get fed up and you don't know who you're dealing with. Sometimes it's the quiet ones. Sometimes it's the most loving ones that shock you with how they respond to being bullied. Sometimes it's the most loving parent that would shock you with how cold they can be when you refuse to work together with them in harmony. When they think about how they have to provide food and clothes and shelter, okay? They have to provide you with love and understanding, and they can't even get a little bit of respect from you. It's not right. It's a bad deal. Okay? So I'm saying that to say, children, you never know who your parents are. Do not take their love and their kindness for weakness. And parents, you do not know who your children are. Do not take their innocent nature and the fact that they're smaller than you for granted. Do not, because children remember. When they grow up, they remember, and they're not going to be small forever. And if you are a parent who has been treating your child in a negative manner and you think that you will be granted permission to terminate before that child grow up to make you pay, God is already on the case. You can forget about it. Whether you're a parent abusing your child, or if the child is abusing the parent, God is already on the case. It's not okay in either direction. God is already on your case. God knew who God was pairing you up with as a family. God didn't make a mistake. God says we are each other's karma. So it's either we're going to be good karma for each other, or we're going to be bad karma for each other. Okay. So that's the end of the story. All right. So the last message we got, well, in this story, and then we got the extra deck for those of you who care. We got making you laugh. Yeah, you're supposed to create good times. Okay? Even when you make a mistake, you're supposed to have a light-hearted energy. It's not that serious. We are all learning. Parents are learning how to care for children, and children are learning how to show care for their parents. Okay? We didn't come here with instructions. We didn't come here fully equipped mentally to know how to interact effectively and create great home environments. We accept that. God knows that. It's not a surprise to God, but we can do better. You know, we can do better. And this is another little trigger warning that might come. Parents who are using your child as, you might want to turn down the volume before I say this if you can't take it. Parents who are using their children as sex objects, pimping them out to other people to come and use them sexually. That's not what they're for. That's you being lazy and irresponsible as a parent. You're supposed to go out and find a job for yourself. Sex is not the only way to get money in this world. God wanted me to say that for somebody. There's no excuse. You need to stop that, because you could be creating a monster. And like I said, if you think that you're going to terminate that being before they come to make you pay for the wrongs that you've done to them, you got another thing coming. God is not going to allow that. Just because they're small, it doesn't mean that they have no help. God is their help. And to all of you men who like to abuse babies, making them suck on your dick, because anything you put in a child mouth, child go always sucking. I could imagine some of you sticking your fucking penis inside the children their mouth thinking that shit is fucking funny. It's not funny. And although it's a baby, God is seeing you. So don't think that that child don't have no help or no protector. God already saw you. And all you men who are pretending to be kind to the neighbor's little daughter, because you know when she grow up and she becomes 16, she gonna be thick and nice looking, and you want to hit that first. You want to be the first one to have sex with her, and all these fucking little tricks that y'all do when it comes to children, y'all need to stop, because God is watching you. And you're gonna pay for it. Playing nice, making the child call you uncle, because you know that you want to have that young lady because she's fresh meat. Or that young man. You elder women who like to use your sexual prowess on these little young boys so you can twist up their head and get them to do whatever the fuck you want them to do, because they don't know nothing about sex. So when they experience these orgasms and all these things for the first time, you know you got them locked. You need to stop it, because God is watching you. Little 2-year-olds, you're sucking on the little 2-year-old penis. Thinking that shit is funny. Training up the child to accept that. Grooming the child. Grooming the little boy. It's not right. We're coming into a time of judgment. So, we're here to bring each other joy. We're here to be a blessing to each other. Don't start no shit, won't be no shit. Let's get this last message. Let's see what this mystery message is. Children are supposed to feel safe around you, and you're supposed to be able to feel safe around your children. Equally so. Create that environment by not ill-treating each other. If you want your parent to treat you good, you have to treat them good. And parents, if you want your children to treat you good, you have to treat them good. And that don't mean spoiling each other. A lot of parents make that mistake where they give the child every fucking thing that they want, thinking that that's going to make the child love them. No. You're training the child to think that that's how the world works, and that is not how the world works. You need to teach your child to accept no. You need to teach the child to accept losing. You need to teach the child to understand that they need to work for what they want when they're a child. If you want to groom them to become an efficient adult. If you want to groom them into anything, that's what you're supposed to be grooming children to do, to become independent, well-functioning, respectable members of society. When they look back at their past with you, they're supposed to have good reports, even when they don't like you at the time because they don't like discipline. It's when children get to an age where they can look back and understand why. That's when they appreciate you. You don't need to be their friend all the time. That's not what you're here for as their parent. They need to learn, no. They need to learn they're not going to win every time. They need to learn that they're not going to get what they want every time, and they need to learn that they need to work for what they want sometimes. Sometimes they can get a gift from life, and sometimes they're going to have to work hard for what they want. Teach your child how to make money, and teach your child how to save money. Teach your child how to be responsible with money. If you want to groom your child into anything, groom your child into being a respectable, independent member of society. That's your job. And children, it is your job to learn to be a respectable, independent member of society, wowing the world with the gifts and talents that you were born with. That's why some people's children grow up and they don't even know what treasure they had. Because they never took the time to get to know the child. We're doing a terrible job. Most of us are doing a terrible, terrible, terrible job with our children. And then, in turn, the children are doing a terrible, terrible, terrible job showing us gratitude as their parents, showing us respect as their parents. You are raising a small human being. You are training a small human being to become an adult human being, independent, self-sufficient. That's your job. And a grateful heart, they will look after you. If you're unfortunate and don't get a grateful one, God's going to bless you some other how. It's not your job to worry about them not repaying you when they get older and appreciating you and all these things. God saw that you did your part. God will repay you. And children, if you tried your best with your parents, God saw that you tried your best with your parents. God will repay you. So it is our job to do our best at our job. We don't need to worry about how people are moving. Pray for wisdom as to how to move, to counteract, and protect yourself, and bring peace, even if that means separating and going your own ways. Because I've always told my daughter, look, if you think that you're going to be up in here and I'm going to have to be taking care of you and you don't respect me, I will give you to Child Protective Services myself. We're not doing that. I don't need to take that. I'm not going to fight with you. I talk to you and I know you have understanding. You need to use it. Because if we really can't get along, I'm not going to be up in here catering to you and you don't have no respect for me. It's unfair. And if you hate me so much, you don't need to be with me. I will give you away to the government. And whatever becomes of you, you decided your fate, because I'm not dealing with your shit. And I know whatever the fuck you run into out there is going to be worse than the discipline that I give you in here. Because they don't care about you. You're not their child. You're a stranger to them. It's open season to them when it comes to you. Don't start no shit, there won't be no shit. We all have understanding, even the little ones. They have understanding. No means no. Stop means stop. Come means come. You do your part, and I'll make sure you have your food, you have your clothes, you have your shelter, you got my love, you can play with me, we can play games and have fun together and laugh together like the reading they just said. I'll make your childhood memorable and as pleasant as I possibly can. And in the tough times, I will give you comfort, because there will be tough times. But I'm going to give you comfort, and we're going to stick together, and we're going to use our intelligence, because I know you little ones, you're intelligent too. So I'm going to ask for your input. That's another thing that we do with our children that's wrong. We hide when we're experiencing difficulty from our children. We should not do that. If you're having money troubles, let your children know. If you're having man problem or woman problem, let your children know. If somebody's bullying you, let your children know. They're not fools. Because then when you interact with them, and let's say your behavior is a little bit off or something, it gives them understanding. That's child development. They're understanding the world for what it really is through your experiences, and it builds an emotional bond between you and your child, because when you're sad, children understand what sadness is. When you're happy, they understand what happiness is. So even when you're in the house and you're sad or you're upset and they see you, even though you don't tell them, they know mommy or daddy is not okay. They can see it on your face.
You don't have to tell them everything because at the end of the day, they're children, but you can give them the children version of what you're dealing with. So they know, even as adults, we have our own problems too. When they go to school, they're going to meet up on their own bullies. You know, they're going to have their own little girl or little boy that they like or that like them and acting like a fool or whatever. You'd be surprised what come out of these children mouth. They're already growing. They're little adults. They got their own life too. You're here to help them with their struggles. And if you tell them that you're struggling, you'll be surprised what suggestions they can come up with to help you with yours. That's you building love in your child. Because if they see you sad and they love you, they're going to do something sweet to make you feel better. And it will work. It's going to make you feel better. Even though it's just your little one, it works. And they understand. And it draws them closer to you. It builds that spiritual bond between you and them. Y'all need to do better as parents. Y'all need to understand the gift of a child. They're not fools. They're not empty vessels. They're very intelligent beings. They're just miniature ones. All these smart kids that you see on TikTok is not the fact that children now got smart. Is now you're seeing how other people handle their parenting duties. And that's why they're able to pull that side of their child out of them. It's because of what they engage their child in when they're off screen. They say Emperor Haile Selassie was the governor of Harare, Ethiopia at age 12. What kind of parents raise a child who is so mature, so wise, that he can be gifted the position of governor of a state at age 12? What was his days like? What was his childhood like? Ethiopia is the only country in the world that has never been colonized by the white man. It's never been overtaken by the white man. What kind of life are they living? How do they treat their children? Or back in those days, anyway. You see what I'm saying? If your child act like a fool, it's because that's how you raised him or her. Partly. Because if you raise up that child right, even when they veer off into their foolery, they're gonna get their ass beat and they have to come back to the sense that you instilled in them in the first place. Because I know we teach our children right at home, and then when they go out and they get around their friends, they try and take on some of them bad personality traits and all that type of nonsense. Okay. So we're not 100% responsible, but if you train up the child in the way that he or she should go, they will never depart. Because even when they try to, they're going to see why you were teaching them to do this or do that or not do this, not do that, what kind of friends to stay away from, what kind of friends to invite into their world, and so on and so on and so on. They're gonna understand. They're gonna hear your voice in their head. It's gonna come back to them. If you start them off right, they won't derail. Because as soon as they see them start to come off the track and they see the consequences that's out there, they're gonna come back. Because you did your job. Even when they look like they're not listening, they can't stop them ears from hearing. It is your job. Malika tell me that I chat too much. But me, as a parent, when I go to explain myself, I like to explain myself thoroughly so you don't have to come and ask me any questions. And now you know what Malika is doing. Malika has been doing from about 21 years old. She's been working as a hairdresser and she be having adult conversation and helping people to make their lives better with her wisdom that she got from me because I chat so much. So right now Malika could easily get into a career of counselor if she want to, because through me sharing my life experiences and stuff with her, she has learned so much. So she got so much to teach. When people see her and they ask her how old she is, they can't believe it because of her level of maturity. From the time she was 6 years old, her grandmother used to say she's 6 going on 60. Maturity. I only know how to be sensible. I play games, but not no stupid games that's gonna make you stupid. I play intelligent games. That's fun. We're having fun, but you're also learning from it. Or you're getting exercise from it. That's how I play. If you're gonna be on an iPad, you're gonna be learning something. You're gonna be doing something constructive or watching something constructive. You got times when you just do your little foolishness, that's fine. But there are things that you need to know, like you need to know to count, you need to know your ABCs, you need to know how to spell, you need to know how to write, you need to know the basics. You're gonna spend time doing these things too. And I don't want no arguments from you. That's how we started. Malika went to school, she started school at age 7. I homeschooled Malika until she was 7 years old because I thought that the preschool, the children, all they do almost all day is play. Wasting the child's mind away, just play, 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 and fucking sleep and eat. When Malika started school, Malika was coming in the top 4. And the one time she came in first place, she came home with ringworm too. So the bitches were mad. And they used to happily tell me how I'm mad for homeschooling my child. As if I don't know what my mental capability is like. Malika went to school and was showing them all up. I think the lowest she ever came one time was 8th. In a class of plenty children. Probably be above 23 children. More than 23 children. She's in the top. Most of the time, she come in at the top 1 to 4. I think one time she came in 8th. And the one time that she made it to first place, she came home with ringworm. And the girl who used to always come in first, her mother was a doctor. So I know they gave her ringworm because they're mad. They're upset. Malika is outdoing her child. The fuck? It's not her fault. Fuck you doing with your child? You need to step it up then, innit? Shit. Jealous bitches. So yeah, you got shit to deal with like that. I just got some ganja ash. I clean the ringworm and I rub it kind of hard so I open up, and I got the ganja ash because you know we smoke our ganja, real ganja anyway, not whatever they must sell right now. It was natural ganja. Took the ganja ash and just rub it on there, and it burned for a little bit, but in 3 days it was gone. But I knew why she got ringworm. Because all of them Montserratians were going around saying to each other how I'm so stupid and I'm making a bad decision homeschooling my child because it's out of the norm. I think I was one of the very few, if not the only person homeschooling her child there. But it's what I want to do because I've seen what the children do at preschool. My child will not be doing that. Thank you. Then they start making excuses. Oh, what about her social skills? She got cousins. She interact with her cousins when they come home from school. And I know how to teach her how to treat people right as well. She need to treat me right and I treat her right. So she learns social etiquette. Thank you. What else you got? So I had to fight for my right to be a good parent to my child. Sometimes it be like that. You have to fight for your right to be a good child to your parent by not allowing your friends to lead you astray, doing stupid shit that you know that's gonna piss your parents off when you go home. And parents have to fight for their right to be the best parent that they can to their children. Because everybody got their own opinions about what you're doing, and they don't ever come and talk to you and ask you nothing. They just sit by and make their own opinions. Chat amongst each other and laugh at you as if they know what the fuck you're doing. As if they know you. I'll take my chances, thank you. And I think we proved our point when she came in first, second, third, and fourth in her class. Fuck you take me for? I'm not that stupid. I sent her to school at 7 because I was like, okay, the shit's getting complicated now. My child needs to know things, so now it's time for her to go to school. Now that she can talk to me and tell me if anybody do anything to her and all these things, she's fully functional. Yeah, now I could trust my child to be away from me and in those domains. You're not getting a chance to groom my little one. You're mad? No, thank you. I will do the grooming. There are dangerous people out there. A lot of dangerous situations out there. That's what we need to prepare our children for. The good times and the bad times. That's proper parenting. Okay. So let's see. Okay, I'm here and look on the bottom of the deck. Okay, we got communicate with your creator in your own kind of way. Yeah, God will help you. God will help you. God will teach you. God will guide you. God will give you strength when you need strength. Just talk to God and ask God for what you need. If you need a break from parenting and you need a reset or whatever, talk to your creator in your own kind of way. Ask for what you need because you need to be fully functional so you can be fully functional for your child. And that's why it's great to have a support system when it comes to child raising. It's good to have a support system. It doesn't mean that you should take advantage of your support system, but sometimes it's nice to be able to leave your child with somebody that you trust. And go relax your mind a little bit and then come back and take up your duty. And if you know you're not ready for proper thing to being a parent, you should not be having children. It's not just about making them look cute. It's not just about the color of their skin and their nice hair and their nice eyes. It calls for commitment. It interferes with your sex life, with your partner. You see what I'm saying? So there's a lot of things to think about before we make children. We need to stop making children just for stupid reasons. It's a lifetime commitment. And that's why so many people are so shitty at it, because they get themselves, they get pregnant, they have children, and they're not ready to be parents. They're not ready for the responsibility, so they half-ass their responsibility. Stop fucking reckless sex then. Then children come in and have to suffer for your fucking stupid, irresponsible behavior. You can't give them what they need because you are also lacking. You didn't grow up yet. And people wonder, how come I only have one child? that's by design. I did that purposely. Malika is 25 years old. So if Malika get a brother or a sister now, Malika is 25 years older than her brother or sister. And I intend to have children. So Malika might have one, and then I'm gonna have one, and then Malika's child, my child is gonna be Malika's child's uncle, and they're gonna be years apart, uncle or auntie. I don't care. Okay, as long as my womb works, I will be giving birth to children because I am great at it. And I want other people to come and enjoy the glory which is creation. Let us travel, let us experiment, let us meet people, let us laugh, let us cry, let us write, let us sing, let us dance, let us live. Shit. It's a gift. Life is a gift. Interesting. So we got make yourself a milkshake. So I don't know, that's a message for somebody. So, okay, I get why this came out. So the reading today was heavy as usual and probably more heavier than usual. So God is saying if you don't have an appetite like me usually, because I'm going through my own drama, you need to eat something anyway. So if you don't want to actually eat food, you can get some oats and some milk and some nuts and some peanut butter and some water and some essence if you want, and a little bit of sugar if you want. What else? Whatever else you want to throw in there, make yourself a substantial meal. So a drink like that it will fill you up and it would give you necessary nutrition. So if you're feeling down because of your life situation and you can't eat right now, your body's saying I'm hungry, but your mind is like ugh to food, then you can either make yourself a smoothie or you can make yourself a milkshake. But I feel like the milkshake would be a heavier, more fulfilling meal than um the fruit one. Okay, fruits tend to open up our appetite. The milkshake will make us feel like we had a meal, especially with the nuts and the oats in there. Okay, so if you're not feeling up to par right now when it comes to your eating, you still need to eat. So if you don't want to actually eat, a milkshake would be the perfect food for you to go through this downtime until you find your appetite again. Okay. Let's see at the bottom of the deck, we got create a personal self-care routine for yourself and put it somewhere you'll be sure to see it. So God wants us to make sure that we take care of ourselves. Like we said, if you take care of yourself, then you'll be in optimum position or optimal uh, operation to take care of your responsibilities, your work, your children. You know what I'm saying? It's not wise for us to be giving all to our children because some parents do that too. They dedicate their whole life to their spouse and their children, and then they leave themselves out, and then they get miserable. But balance. Life is about balance. So create a personal self-care routine for yourself as well. Okay, mommy and daddy. So you have to look after the children, but you also need to look after yourself. Okay? Don't stress each other. Right. And we got last one I'm gonna show you. Write down 4 things you're grateful for. So just in case you're feeling low and you're looking around and so many things are going wrong, just take a look at things that are going right. You can write 4, you can write 10. I'm sure you can find a lot of things to be grateful for right now because whatever situation we're going through, it could always be a lot worse. So the first thing you're going to be grateful for is that your situation isn't much worse than it actually already is. How about that? Okay. So we're going to give thanks for life, give thanks for the gift of life, and we're going to forgive ourselves for our shortcomings because we didn't get no instruction manual. We're all just trying to figure this shit out. Okay? We're all just trying to figure life out. Sorry. I need to stop talking like that because life is not shit. We're all just trying to figure life out. The little ones are trying to figure life out. The adults are trying to figure life out. Children, your parents don't know everything. They may not want to tell you, but I'm going to tell you. They don't know everything. They're just trying their best to make your life as best as possible and their life also as best as possible. So we're going to need you to be patient and share your wisdom, but speak respectfully to your parents. Sometimes we know that you have great ideas. Sometimes your ideas aren't so great, but sometimes your ideas actually are the best ideas. So don't hesitate to share with your loved ones sometimes, God just might put the answer inside of you. So feel free to speak respectfully or ask for permission to speak. Okay? And then when they say yes, then you can share your 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 findings or your wisdom or your thoughts with your parents, because you're a team, you're a family unit. Okay, you are your support system. That's what we're supposed to do. Supposed to be working together to be the best versions of ourselves that we can be. Okay, and give God the praise. So thank you so much for joining us on this one. I hope that you enjoyed it and you got a lot of wisdom from it. If you've been doing wrong, there's always time to change your life. Okay? There's always time. And if you feel like you can't stop yourself from doing the nonsense that you're doing, you need to pray to God for the strength to stop. Because it's either you do that or you continue and God gonna fuck you up later. Okay? So good luck. And thank you again for joining me. One love.